It really was not that long ago that the major mass transportation for Americans was the train. For the most part, rail transportation was safe, but with thousands of trains running daily, there was bound to be an occasional accident. On July 20th, 1907, in southern Michigan, there came a major rail disaster. On the day in question, an excursion train of 800 passengers was making a run from Ionia to Detroit. Near Salem, Michigan, the train crashed with a freight train, killing 31 passengers and seriously injuring 101. One newspaper report stated the passenger train of 11 cars carrying the Pere Marquette shop employees of Ionia and their families on their annual excursion was running at high speed, probably 50 miles an hour, down a steep grade. It struck the lighter locomotive of the freight train with such terrific force as to turn the freight train completely around. The wrecked locomotive lay side by side, with both headed eastward. Continuing, only a few of the freight train cars were smashed. Besides the two wrecked locomotives, however, 6 cars of the passenger train piled up in a hopeless wreck. 4 of the passengers' cars remained on the tracks undamaged and were used to convey the dead and injured to Ionia. James Boyle, a farmer, was working in a field probably about 400 feet away from the track when the two trains approached from opposite directions. The local freight was moving slowly up the heavy grade and had just reached the curve when the passenger train appeared running at high speed. Boyle saw the passenger engineer shut off his steam and apply the brakes and saw the crews of both engines jump just before the crash. He ran to the tracks where he found the uninjured passengers from the rear coaches running forward and joined with them in pulling out the injured who could be seen on every hand. Continuing, the dead were placed in a row alongside the track and the injured were made as comfortable as possible under the circumstances until the arrival of the wrecking trains from Detroit, Grand Rapids, and Saginaw, which made it possible to send them to Ionia and Detroit. The 28 dead bodies first taken out of the wreck were shipped to Ionia and the injured on to Detroit. The disaster was caused by negligence. The newspaper article concluded, responsibility is put squarely upon the crew of the freight train by officials of the road. Those who arrived on the scene of the wreck soon after the accident obtained from the crew of the freight the orders under which it was running. They clearly showed the position of the excursion train and that the freight had encroached upon its running time. The freight crew left the scene early, but railroad officials said that they explained simply that they had forgotten the orders, end quote. The Pere Marquette was of good sound reputation and was established in 1900 by the merger of numerous Michigan railroads, the most prominent of them being the Flint and Pere Marquette, the Detroit, Grand Rapids, and Western, as well as Chicago and West Michigan. The Pere Marquette operated over the trackage stretching from Buffalo, New York to Chicago and from Bayview, Michigan to Toledo, Ohio. Well, please feel free to leave comments in the comment section below. Thanks for stopping by, and God bless.